you get foreclosed on you, and your sports car, you have to sell it because it doesn't fit your children anymore. And you start realizing that life is trouble. Life is a venue for pain, actually. Pain mixed with pleasure, but more pain than pleasure. That's what people don't like to face up to, they don't like to realize. Grief is a natural Grief is natural to the mortal world, and it's always about you. Pleasure is a gift. And this is by thy invitation. Use well thy mind, and sorrow shall be cast behind you. Be prudent, and the visit of joy shall remain long with you. This prudence is that the teaching is talking about, and this invitation. The invitation comes by prudency. Prudency means right action. It means looking at the world properly. As you believe, so the world comes to you. The world comes to you in reference to your perception, your understanding about the world. If you understand that the world is an illusion, you approach it a particular way. If you believe that it is real, you approach it in a different way. And the different ways lead to your sorrow or your pleasure. So what is Shetal Neder? This is the term Shetal, and this is the term for Neder. Shetal means something secret, something hidden, something unfathomable. And Neder means divinity. And here are the two spellings for Neder, to be Neter or Neger. So the term means the way or teaching about the hidden supreme being or divinity. The Neder symbol relates to divinity in an androgynous form. It doesn't relate to a male or female divinity, but really divinity transcending gender. Who are the Nectarians? The term means Shem. And Shemsu are the followers, those who follow the nectar. Now, in terms of Shems means to emulate, to act like, to do like, to feel like, to look like. If you do these things, you eventually become like. But you should not understand this in terms of self and other. So I'm getting is that you do not start to do the practice of religion meaning to act like, to do this discipline, to do the ritual, to look like, meaning to do the dress, to put on the garb, to think like, studying the philosophy and attuning your mind to the teaching and so on and so forth. To speak like. You know, do these things so that you can actually become like, in terms of thinking about it as something that you are not already. What you're doing when you do that actually is that you are changing from an illusory personality that you have created already to the actual personality that you are intrinsically. You follow me? That means that you have the garb that people have taken in the world, the suits and ties, and the colorful clothing of the West Africans, or the colorful clothing of the South American natives, or the Western clothing of Europe, whatever it may be. All that is they have acted and they've taken on speech and they have taken on rituals that are in contradiction with their original true self. So what you're doing here is that you're actually taking on your true identity. Who was the founder of Mentarianism? The founder of Mentarianism, according to the scriptures, is Lord Kepler. Or Kepler. And this is the hieroglyphic text for his name. This is the main symbol for Kepler, which is the scarab. And here he is in the form of Kepler or Kepler, bringing forth the creation out of the moon, which the god moon, the unknown waters, with his boat of millions of years, which contains the divinities that assist him. And here he is in the papyrus of Annie being worshipped by Annie and his wife. Now it says that Lord Kepler created the world and the teaching of Sedan Erer, but he did not write it down. Lord Jehuti came forth and wrote down the teaching that was given by Lord Kepler. Lord Jehuti in turn gave that teaching to Mr. Keteru, as well as Lord Sar and Mr. Asset. Asset and Asar gave that teaching to Heru's bottom, and Heru became the quintessential symbol of rulership, of Quranic rule for the kings and queens, as well as giving that teaching to the priests and priestesses. Priests and priestesses provide that teaching in a line of succession throughout history. They act as advisors to the pharaohs as well as to the entire culture through the temple system. So what is the purpose of life that Shaitan Mentor is dedicated to? The purpose of all human life is to achieve a state of consciousness apart from the body concern. Men and women are to become godlike through a life of virtue and the cultivation of the spirit through scientific knowledge, practice, and bodily discipline. Salvation is the freeing of the soul from its bodily fetters, becoming God through knowledge and wisdom, controlling the forces of the cosmos instead of being a slave to them, subduing the lower nature, and through awakening the higher self, ending the cycle of rebirth, and dwelling with the netters who direct and control the great sun. This is one of the songs of the harper. This is from one of the tomb reliefs. The harper songs are a particular genre of ancient Egyptian literature. I have heard these songs, which are in the ancient tombs, which tell of the virtues of life on earth and make little of life in a cemetery. Why then